Chapter 13. The cave was deep and empty as far as I could tell. I found a little niche and collapsed inside. I sat alone in the dark, shaking and waiting for the fear to pass. The storm got even worse outside. I was freezing sitting around in wet clothes. I'd lost my best weapon getting this far, and I was only halfway to the safe house. I told myself I'd just rest my eyes. I couldn't go to sleep there. That would be crazy. I'm not sure when I woke up, but it was still dark. The storm was winding down. I jolted awake, gasping. The moan I'd heard earlier was still sounding. I didn't think it was the wind anymore. I knew that sound. I think I had been making it when I was standing there looking into Ben's eyes. They were open, but he didn't see me. "You've got to stay focused," I told myself. I sat there and just listened for a while. If raptors had entered the cave while I was sleeping and hadn't noticed me, I didn't want to give them a reason to now. I listened until I couldn't stand it anymore, then got up and explored the caves. I had a pocket flashlight, and I covered the beam with my hand so it would just give off a slight glow. The caves were like a maze. I spent hours making sure I was alone and getting the layout down. It reminded me of the compound and made me think of all the things I could have done to set traps there and make the place more secure. After I was done, I went to the mouth of the cave and looked out. A small group of raptors sat nearby. 2 were sleeping. The other 3 were picking some bones clean. I cautiously backed up until I was deep inside the cave again. I swore under my breath. I had to get down to the safe house, but the raptors stood between me and the hatch in the ground that served as the door. It took me a while to come up with a plan, even longer to get the nerve to try it, but at last I was ready. I went back to the cave mouth, peeled open a candy bar, and left it sitting there. Then I went back into the maze. I don't know how long it took, but eventually I heard them. The smell of the candy drew them, just like it had at the complex. They followed the trail of wrappers and treats that I had left. It led them to a fork and sent them scurrying down the tunnel to the left, where I had left another flashlight burning. Its batteries were wearing down, but the light was enough. I was waiting behind a wall to the right, peering around the corner. My heart was racing as I counted all 5. Once I saw the last of their tails going down the left-hand tunnel, I turned and quietly followed the curve of the walls until I came out near another cave mouth. I looked out and saw that the way down to the safe house hatch was now clear. Most of the iguanodons in the valley were sleeping. A few were grazing on the small patches of greens left there. I was about to take a step out when a raptor walked by. I froze and prayed it wouldn't smell me. I had covered myself in dirt from the cave to disguise my scent and the candy scent that had been on me from the bars. It didn't stop. I relaxed, took a step forward, and heard a scratching and hiss from behind. I turned in time to see a raptor leap at me. Shuddering, I sidestepped and it missed me, its claws making a chilly breeze as they struck at the air near my face. I had a rock in my hands and struck the raptor, stunning it before it could get up again, before it could make a sound. I wondered for a second if this had been one of the raptors that had tried to kill Iggy, one of the predators that savaged Iggy's friend. A part of me hoped so. I hit it again, then dropped the stone and made a run for the hatch.